And we are live. Woo! A few technical hitches this morning. How are you, Lily?
I'm good. How are you? Oh gosh, technical hitches.
Oh, technology. So, girls, I sent an email to Lily with the link. Email was really slow, didn't come through. Had to use Messenger. Went to my Facebook page, and boom, a whole new look on Facebook. And it's like, okay, how do I navigate around this now? So it was one thing after another, after another. Anyway,
We're here.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
here.
let's
We're here.
breathe. We're here.
Good.
Um,
All
if you
good.
are if you are joining us for the first time, welcome to our lunchtime lives. I'm Anita McLaughlin, and I am the founder of Sequins and Sand. And every day not every day, every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday during Corona lockdown, we are coming live at 12 o'clock with all these wonderful women who have these brilliant tips for us on all sorts of things. Our health, we've had menopause talks. Yesterday we talked about the elephant in the room, which is what's your new normal going to be once coronavirus finishes, and so much good stuff going on. And Lily is going to talk to us today about makeup, not just any kind of makeup tips for mature skin. You know, when we are in our prime, girls. Yeah, that's right. So Lily has been here before. She knows the drill. We all loved her last time, so I'm thrilled that she's back again. Thanks for joining us, Lily. I'm going to hand over to you now and shut up for a bit because we've got a bit of catching up to do. So big howdy to you, Liz. Nice to see you, sweetheart. And over to you, Lily. Let's rock and roll.
All righty. Okay. So mature skin, we do have to change it up. And I've had lots of ladies in my career who say how they've been doing makeup since they're, late teens or early 20s, and they're still doing it the same way and they're just finding it's not working.
Yeah.
So the main thing is that as we age, our skin dehydrates. So the foundation maybe that you were wearing, and your skin's changed. It's changed. It may have been quite oily or combination. That was mine, combination, so oily tea. So I used to really try and combat the tea oiliness with harsh products, and then my cheeks suffered, and then you get red and like rosacea. So skincare is a big thing. So if your skin is prepped well, then your makeup will look better. You've also got to think about the makeup or the texture of makeup and the consistency of what you're putting on your skin. So what I find, and I talked about this last time, and I'm sure there's new people on there now that maybe don't know. So I find that I didn't actually talk about this last time. I use this product called Synergy. Anyway, I'll pop that in the comments. So morning and night, I use the moisturizer Reclaim, so reclaiming the youth. I always find that quite hilarious. I do use that morning and night. And then another thing is Uber Zinc is another one of their products, which is a zinc cream. So these are all non-toxic, no nasties. So I've been using that for about 8 years every single day because I do work outside on TV commercials and photo shoots and walk. And so definitely sunscreen is a big thing. Even as we're getting more mature and we think all is lost because we didn't use sunscreen when we were younger. No, it isn't. So sunscreen every day, a really good moisturizer. I also love that I talked about this everlasting facial elixir. Yeah, that's really nice from a local lady. Lots of beautiful oils. So I've already got that on. And I also use some serums. So Synergy have some serums. So you can go on their website and check out some of their anti-aging serums. So serums are great to put on under moisturizer. It tends to soak in, and they're a little bit molecularly smaller than moisturizer, so it tends to soak into your skin a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point because I've always had small pores and very fine skin, and now coming into winter as well, out of that lovely humidity, moist air of summer, my skin just feels really, really dry, and creams just sit on the top. So how is a serum different to an oil, or is there no difference?
Well, most serums tend to be water-based. Some are oil, like that little is an oil-based. So you'll always put a water-based serum on first and then an oil over the top, if because they kind of, the water one won't be able to go on top of the oil. So lately I've kind of foregone the other serums for a little while. I've used them for years and years and I love them. So I was trialing this. I've been trialing this now for, well, ever since it's been about 7 weeks now. So I really love it. I think my skin's enjoying the oil.
Yeah.
And then I put the moisturizer, Reclaim moisturizer, and then I put the Uber Zinc. And then sometimes I might put a little bit of this on top again. But what I'm finding is, just to quickly really talk about skincare, is the biggest thing I found, I have to say, is this little mask. And look, it's sold through a network marketing company. So you can't just buy it on the shelf. And I got introduced to it by another makeup artist about 6 years ago. And I was very skeptical because I'm super skeptical about any kind of gimmicky things. And the different thing about this one is it's a mask you roll on every night. So it's a commitment. So this, I have to say, from everything I've used, this seals everything in at nighttime. You roll it on, it forms a second skin, you go to sleep, it's clear, and in the morning you peel it off or wash it off. So it is a commitment doing it every night, and I really religiously did this for 5 years, and my skin really is quite good because of this. I did find it a big difference. And then I kind of went through, times when you're not feeling too good about yourself, divorce and all of that stuff, and I kind of neglected using it too. So I just went, I can't be bothered. And then I started again, and this is where I brought this back. I've started using it every night again. I found, what it does, it locks in your moisture, and it actually allows your own skin to do its own healing. So the main ingredient is your own moisture's locked in, but it's breathable. Anyway, you can look it up, or I can send a little link.
We can put the link in the feed as well. Yeah.
And so it really does work. It's just a commitment. It's got a strong smell when you first put it on, but then it evaporates. So I hold my breath, roll it on, and in 3 seconds, it's like a second skin. Go to sleep, in the morning, wash it off. So all night, your own moisture is doing the work. So
we need a really well-hydrated base, is what you're saying, to good skincare for good makeup.
Yeah, absolutely. So the makeup, I used this cream last time. It's, again, that Synergy brand from Melbourne. But I actually have just tried this IT Cosmetics CC cream from Sephora. They gave me a little sample. So I'm going to give that a go today. I have tried it and I like it. So I'm going to use my little brush again. These are just my own little brushes. I'm just going to dip in a little bit. So I've just got a little bit on there. So I'm just going to just do half so we can have a look. Now, so my skin's nicely prepped. And see how I tap, 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 and then I circular motions. Now I just I don't know.
Two things you've got there, Lily, while you're working that in is, for those who are joining for the first time, brushes. Girls, Lily is a big brush believer. I'm really lazy, so it just gets slapped on my hands and away I go, right? But big difference when you use these lovely big fluffy brushes. So Lily will put a link, or we'll put a link in about the brushes at the end. And you're using a cream foundation, not a powder.
It's actually a liquid. This is like a liquid.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not too it's not the other one that I use. I'll use the other one on the other side actually. So that's a really solid cream. Right. So let's do that. So I can go straight in there. Whoops, other side. So I first tap it on.
Yep.
And then I buff it in. Now this feels quite dry. So I'll give you a little tip, lady. If you put your moisturizer on, and first you do whatever serums you want and your moisturizer, if you want to use the primer or whatever, and your skin's quite wet, if you put your moisturizer on straight away, it will shear it out, but it will actually do really well doing that for mature skin. I find that works well. Now, I had a shower earlier and did all my little prep, so my skin's not as moist. So I've just found that it's not blending in as well. So what I do, if that happens, is these little sprays. Now, I think anything that has hyaluronic acid. Now, hyaluronic acid binds 1,000 times its molecular weight in moisture. It will draw moisture and it will bring it to your skin. So I just find that a little spray beforehand will make it more you'll just be able to blend it in. I think what we have to remember, it's really shearing it out. And you think, but I want to cover. You can, but you want to do it in thin layers. You don't want to be, and that's what I think we talked about last time too. So now I'm going to go
caked on. That's not at all.
That's right. And so you really, the more you blend it, the better it looks. Did you notice on this side while you were talking, I just kept blending just before?
Old habits die hard. Hey, Lily.
You just got to blend. And I think I'm a mad blender, and that's key. Because you want to look, I haven't done anything on my forehead. You can see
look at the difference. Yeah. It still looks really dewy and moist, Lily. Yeah. It doesn't look thick and caked on.
Yeah, you want skin to look like skin. You want skin to look like skin, especially, so this is the key. If you find your skin is super dry, spray it again.
Right.
Especially when we start using the heating, especially once with the, the winter weather's, it's still quite humid outside, I think, but when it really starts to get crisper and we start putting the heater on, and then that just really dehydrates our skin. And then people start getting little redness, little psoriasis, little things like that. I just find just keep, moisturizing and this. So I find I spray the spray a couple of times a day. It's called Enviro Shield, and again, it's that Synergy product. There are other products out there that are a spray, but just make sure it's got hyaluronic acid in it because that's what really makes it plump. So that's something that I even spray at the end, or I might, if I'm flying later when we can fly, this is fantastic for long haul spray, and you just feel like you're hydrated in that cabin atmosphere.
Yeah.
And also, I think I talked about last time too, if I've had my makeup on all day, I will spray in the afternoon or before I go out. I'll have a shower sometimes from the neck down. I will not redo my makeup. Yeah. I will just spray and a little bit of the powder foundation, which I'll do next. Now, this is just for longevity. And you know how you asked me last time, why are you doing the powder? Why are you doing powder foundation? And there's all kinds of brands out there. But I just find adding a little bit of a powder foundation over a liquid or a cream, and your skin is plump, it just binds it beautifully, and it just adds that other little layer. I'm even going to use the same brush, and I tend to use it as a Hollywood puff, powder puff. Where do you need it the most? Usually it's in that little T zone around the nose. We get a bit red, and then buff in again. And I just find that really makes it last. It also isn't cakey because did you see how little I only had a tiny little bit? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's that sheer layering.
So
I've got a cup of tea here. Sorry, Lee, I'm not ignoring you, but I'm going to sit.
See, these are our points so far. Super moisturized skin, hydrated, okay. Really get on top of that. Really work in your foundation into a lovely thin layer. Sprays, if you really have a look at sprays, I can't live without them. I love them. And it just softens the skin. And then, you can just, a bit of powder foundation over the top. Just gives you a little bit. I feel like I need some more on my nose. I went for a huge walk, and then I've been having cold showers. It actually stimulates your vagus nerve, VAGUS nerve, and anything to make us happy in these crazy times, I will do. So I have a cold shower, and you buzz. It is crazy, but I love it. In that case, I don't know.
Honey, if it works for you, that's great, but I'm not going there.
It's so amazing. It wakes you up, and you're just, it's
you
weird.
Feel alive.
I never thought I'd be doing it either. Yeah. Never say never. Anita.
Yeah, true. I know. Okay. You're right.
So, again, concealer is another for mature skins. We have to be super careful not to dry concealer. So I'm just going to use another brush, but you can just go like that. I think, another big tip. So super moisturized skin, super hydrated skin, tiny amount of product. Work it in, okay? Even if you have a dry foundation or that's I can make it work with enough prep underneath, and if your skin's moist. Now with the concealer, I don't know if you can see, I've got hardly anything on and it's a peach color. And it really is less is more. I think that's where women really fall into the trap of too much product. Work it in. We have to just spend some time. I'm just going to do one side so you can see. And we don't have to go out too crazy. We don't need to be putting concealer in these little wrinkly bits. Just where you need it is in here.
Yeah, we've got to resist the temptation, want to spack filler everything, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We have to, and this is it, we really have to learn to love ourselves more by the age that we're at, you'd think we can accept ourselves a bit more, but we're still battling. And so
it's a privilege. We're here. It's a privilege. That's the way I look at it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so we need to, like, I'm not into total flawlessness because when no one is, that's where we fall into that trap of trying to be perfect, and then we're trying to be younger maybe than what we are, or like, I think just we have to really adapt to where we're at and make ourselves look as fresh as possible. And that's it. Youthful skin is hydrated skin. So hydrate your skin, not too much coverage, and that creates that lovely youthful. And then I just do around the nose if I need to, you know, if you've got any bits. I've got this little new spot that's come out. How fun. You know, they come out.
Yeah, I've got one of those here too.
Yeah. And so, you know, a little bit of concealer on that. So once you do a little bit of concealer, you can just whack a bit more powder. Now, when I say powder, I'm talking powder foundation. I'm not talking a drying powder. Okay. So that's kind of our base.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we still look like, skin looks like skin.
Yeah, nice and dewy.
Yeah, and then a bit of concealer. And then I'm going to do that little bit of contour. But I've got a new, this was a Smashbox one that I love. And I really love this grey. Oh, not that one, that one. You know how it's the opposite? I battle with the opposite. I don't know my left and right as the best of times.
It's a spinner.
So see how it's a grey brown?
Yeah.
It's really good for fair complexions, because if you think of shadow, it actually is a bit grey. Okay. So again, starting in the ear, going towards the mouth, right in that nice indent. And then the opposite direction in that temple, because the temple comes in a bit and we want that to come in a bit as well. Just
I remember that this morning when I put mine on.
Yeah.
Very proud of myself for remembering.
Good girl. Yeah. It just, you know what? It really makes a beautiful difference, this little, see how it's just given me a nice little bit of shape compared to the other side? Yeah. Little frame. Now, I've just dipped in again, so I've gone to here again. Do not ever dip and then start doing that. You'll have big browns.
Right.
So get most of it there and then get rid of the rest. And I just wanted to.
Up on the hairline.
Yeah. And so see how it just kind of nicely shades. Get rid of the double chin, the little jowly
bit. Under the chin. That's it. That's the golden rule, under the chin.
Yeah. Yeah, so it just gives us that nice little bit of, I'm just dipping in again. So this is a powder product. You can use a cream for concealer. Contour. You know how people do I just think, you know, that little stripe. And you can definitely do it. This is just easier. I find powder's a little bit easier, as long as you haven't got a very big brush. Okay, It's got to be on a little bit of a point. Bit of hair.
So there's no difference there to use a cream versus a powder for mature skin. There's really not a huge amount of difference.
But because a cream would be better, like to keep with, if you haven't got oily skin, that is. So some mature ladies still have oily skin. So the powder would be better. But I find, because I've prepped my skin so much and because I've, you know, sprayed it, I find the powder's fine. Because I just want it to be quick. I don't really want to be spending too much time, even as a makeup artist. I'm actually the most makeup artist, you know, like as in.
That's why we love you, Lily.
But even though, like, most women wouldn't contour who just put on a bit of lipstick and but if I show you a little, like, how easy is that? Now, if I did the cream and then I have to blend it, and then people would just go, no, I can't do that. That looks too you know, but if you find that you tested a cream and you might put a bit of the cream on, so say that was a contour cream, I could just do a little bit of that and do that, you know. So if you've got those products already at home, someone's bought it for you and you go, what am I going to do with it?
Yeah.
So that's kind of that. Just gives us a little bit of a, you know, a little bit of like a 3, maybe even a 4. What else are we going to talk about?
What about for your lips? What about for lips? We've got a couple of minutes left, Lily. What about for lips, darling? Because lips get really dry. My daughter's into using a lip scrub. Do we do that on mature skin?
Look, I think a bit of pawpaw ointment with a tissue is fantastic. I'm finding, and I'll put it in the comments, I'm finding, you know, I was talking about those Dior lip glow. I'm finding I've been doing a bit of research, there's quite a few lip balms out there that tint the lips a little bit. I find they're really the best. But I'm just going to skip lips. So that I just find lip balm, and I'll put the thing in. But I actually find cream blush. We'll just finish with a bit of cream blush.
Okay.
And same brush. I just find that is what's going to give you that nice little bit of a glow, especially in winter.
Peachy glow. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, time flies.
It does. And we were a little bit late this morning. So, you know, we can run over a little bit. If the girls want to stay, they can stay. If they have to chuff, they can chuff. Watch it again later. It's going to be there in the replay. I just find
this is super important. A little bit of blush, I think, is super important as we mature. We lose a bit of colour in our face.
Yes.
So super important that. And then I went on and on about this Tom Ford stuff, but any kind of cream eyeshadow is going to be lovely for our mature skin, but also just in general, I just find it lasts. It lasts all day. It's called Emotion Proof, and this colour is called Bengal, and I find it really works. Isn't that lovely? And it just looks like skin. It's not this. So really we have to stick with matte colours as we mature. Anything super sparkly is going to accentuate any kind of crepiness that we have in our eyes or wrinkling. And so I just find this is just super simple, and I find I use this on a base for everybody. There are other colours, but this one just seems to be a lovely brown. And then another little tip is that you can put a bit of blush on if you have some powder blush, just put a little bit on the eyes as well, which is fantastic. But with the lips, definitely a nice hydrating. There's even hyaluronic acid in lip products now, so they've all cottoned onto this hyaluronic acid. And I think Jane Iredale, she has one that I haven't tried, but my friend has, and it tints the lips. So I just find if you can do more than one thing, I like it.
And what about for those fine lines that we get around our lips? I used to use years ago a wax, because I've had these for years because my skin has always been really dry, and a wax pencil that I bought years ago from Body Shop, you know, and I still find that works really well. To stop that bleeding that we get.
Yeah, so there's lots of products out there. It's like it's clear, or it's a milky, and then you just line your lips, or even the outside. You've actually got to do the skin with that product. It's like a bit of a primer, and then you use that's if you love dark colors. And I just find as I'm getting more mature, I don't go as dark because maybe our lips get a bit smaller. Dark colors make things look smaller and harsher. So I'm finding that I'm using lighter colors, and so that lip glow just looks fresh. And so I also have that problem too with the lines. I don't know, it just happens. I remember even when I was younger and you'd wear red lipstick and you'd see it all kind of bleeding up. I'm like, what's going on? So that there are some really good wax products. Gosh, I haven't used one in a while, but I think maybe MAC have one. I'll have to research a little bit because I haven't used it in a little while. It's in my kit somewhere, but I can't remember the brand. So but that is true. That little bit of bleeding can happen. And so a nice little bit of a waxy crayon. It's like a crayon.
Yeah, and even I find the waxy lip balms
Lip
that you buy,
liner. Oh yeah.
lip balms, that's often just enough too, because even if I put it
So
all
nice.
over my lips and I just use less, a bit like you do with your foundation and things,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just use less when it's on, but it doesn't then get that feathering up
Yeah.
into the
And I
cracks.
find that I'll use a lip liner and I'll colour my whole lips in because the lip liners have that wax in it as well.
Yes.
And then you just finish with the lip balm on top. So there's really, it's when you start super dark colours, super glossy, it'll start to bleed.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the more matte is thick. But I just find as we mature, like it's beautiful to have. Dark colours are gorgeous, but like a beautiful red, you could still lip line your whole lips in with red lip liner, and then just tap on a little bit of that lip balm because it's not slippery. It's more like a lip balm. It's not a gloss,
Yeah.
and there's no stick in it because I think
Yeah, because the glosses will tend to bleed up, won't they?
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. So I'm just
yeah.
finding these. Yeah, have it research. These lots of brands now have must have. I'm saying it, so it's popping up on my phone. You know that whole thing. You almost think it, and the advertisements
They
start
know.
popping up.
They know.
So, and also I was searching for a few new brands because I've been using the Dior one for a while, and I thought I would maybe like to use something a bit more natural. So I will, I'll research that and try a few new ones. But I think, really, we haven't done mascara, but everyone really knows mascara. And I think, eyebrows are important too. Just the more, with mature, less product, blend really well, and the more, less harsh lines you do. So anything, even with eyebrows, like I'm just using a MAC little, like a styling pencil that you wind up. Just little tiny feather-like strokes. And if I was to do super blocked, harsh, it's not going to look natural, and it really will make us look harsh as we mature. When you're younger, you can kind of get away with it. Even then, we sometimes go, "Wow, I would love to soften those eyebrows a little bit." That's just me. I want people to look like a beautiful shape, but still natural, not too structured. But then when you're younger, gosh, I remember in the 80s, we, did crazy things, bright colors and, so
Yeah.
just really emulate little hairs. Like I can't see what I'm doing because I'm doing the wrong way, but, just drawing little hair and just making it a little bit darker or filling in makes all the difference.
Yeah, yeah. I think too
Yeah.
what happens to our complexions, and I know this when I'm fitting swimsuits on girls and we're looking at colours, so
Mm.
a lot of the time, especially the Anglo blonde Aussies, as we
Mm-hmm.
get older, we tend to soften. Our skin loses and our colours lose that heavy contrast. So if you go
Yeah.
wearing even colours that create high contrast, then it's
Yeah.
not going to work for everybody because our complexions do soften as we get older. So
They
the
do.
softer
They
tones
do.
make sense. Yeah, for many, not for
Yeah.
everybody, but for many.
Yeah. So a
Mm.
little bit of colour in the cheeks. If you look at a child, they have that natural little bit of a colour, and that's where the cream blush is lovely to give you that little bit of a glow. Just super moisturised skin, and I'll even find by halfway through the day or towards the afternoon that my skin's feeling a bit dry. I'll just do a little spray.
Spray. Yeah.
I go to the bathroom and then I'll just go. Feel like I just don't like that dry, tight feeling.
Yeah, and as you
So
say,
that's
handy to have when you travel. That's great.
absolutely. Yeah.
Good tips, Lily. We got there in the end,
Yay.
fast and
Yeah.
furious. Thanks so much for tuning in, girls. There's some awesome tips there, and there's some information in the feed already. I've been ticking away, but
Oh,
any
cool.
products that Lily's mentioned, she'll go in and put those in the feed for you.
Yeah,
So thank you
I'll do
so
that
much
now.
for tuning in.
Awesome.
Great job, Lily. And girls,
Thank you.
tomorrow we have got Ange. Ange is back, and Ange is talking about, get this, how to beat the bloat. We leave no stone unturned here. We're all about honest for us women in our prime, getting down to things that we we all kind of experience, and some of us don't talk about it much, but we're going to go there. So Angie's going to help us. Thanks, Liz, Maz, Sarah. Who else is there? I think Jen was there, and who else was there? Who's there? Sarah, Jen, Yvonne. Thanks so much, girls, and for all those who are tuning in later. And, of course, thank you, Lily. Well done. See you guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.